Hi, my name is Carlos R. Stafford Jr. I'm putting this out here. This is my first time. I've never done anything like this before, but I have no other choice. This is for everybody in the United States, but mainly geared towards the Ada City school systems, in particular the Ada Junior High. There was an incident that occurred during summer conditioning with my daughter. There were two coaches. And before anybody says anything, this is not defamation. I am not slandering. I'm telling you exactly what happened, the process I went through, and the lack of help that I'm getting. Okay, summer conditioning. My daughter was in summer conditioning. My daughter has disabilities and/or disorders, however you want to say it. So disorders and disabilities. There is a federal law that protects, or supposed to protect, our children and any other person that has a disorder or disability. There's all kinds of organizations out there for that. But this in particular is, they broke, Ada Junior High broke federal law 504, which says any person that has a disorder or disability has to be provided accommodations for. So not only did they not provide my daughter with accommodations, both of these coaches slash teachers, and I will say their last names because apparently I'm not allowed to have their first names. Coach Henry, who is the softball coach, and Coach Waters. I'm not sure what he's a coach of. My daughter was in summer conditioning, and that lasted, I think, an hour, hour and a half, something like that. 15 minutes later, she's in my car, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "Well, the coaches want to talk to you." I'm like, "Okay." Well, then I don't know these coaches. Never met them, never seen them. They walk around my car. Waters, the male, puts his hand on my car and starts yelling at me, literally barking and screaming at me 2 feet from my face. Blah, 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 blah. And I told him, I was like, "Man, you need to calm down. You need to calm down right now. You don't come at somebody like that. You don't come at me like that." And then he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just pissed off." Yeah, well, that should have been a red flag. And it was. I was about to jump out of my car, but I did not. Just a little bit about me, just real quick. I am ex-military, ex-law enforcement on the correctional side. I've taken care of people my whole life in some way, form, or another. That's what I did. I enjoyed it too. Always been very professional. This is where the unprofessionalism, unethical behavior, and just pure, just not real, I don't know what the word to call it is. So I'm like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Zoe, my daughter, doesn't do anything." And I looked at him, I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, she doesn't do anything. She just doesn't do anything." And then she goes and she sits on the bleachers or the chairs or whatever they were. I think they're bleachers. It's the indoor. And I'm like, "Okay, well," I'm thinking in my head, number one, that's a lie, because I always watch my kids play. I watch them practice. I watch them play, unless, of course, it's during school hours. And then I'm not there, of course. But I've always watched them. My other daughter plays soccer. I've always watched my babies. When my son played football and baseball, I watched them. That's me. That's the kind of dad I am. I love my babies, and I want to protect them in every way possible. So anyway, I knew this was a lie. And then he turns around and goes, "Was I coming at him? Was I barking at him? Blah, 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 blah." And then Henry, of course, and I understand backing your people up. I've done it since I joined the military. I understand backing people up, but not when it's in an unethical manner. You just can't. And then she backed him up and said, "No, I don't think you're coming at him." And I'm like, "Okay, what the heck is going on here?" And I was like, "So what's the deal?" And then they started in. And I'll make a long story short on that whole interaction. They were just non-professional and unethical. They started yelling at my daughter right in front of me. They belittled her. They berated her. They were literally telling her, you are a waste of time. You are wasting our time. You are wasting everybody's time that's out there on the field. I don't know if they said field, but, in the indoor. And it took every ounce of constitution I had not to get out of that car. They were doing this and telling my daughter this right in front of me. So I was flabbergasted, I guess would be the best awesomest word to use. Yes, I said awesomeness. So I turned and I asked my daughter, I'm like, all right, what do you want to do? Well, she was so hurt that, and I didn't catch it. And I apologized to her later about it, but I didn't catch it. But I was like, what do you want to do? And she goes, well, I guess I'm just going to be a waste of their time. Yeah, that's what she said. And I didn't catch the sarcasm and stuff in it. I just didn't, because I was so pissed off. I was angry that I had two teachers belittling and berating a student, a child, a minor, and my daughter right in front of me. And so we talked about it on the way home. And then I'm like, oh my God. By the time I got home, hindsight is always 20/20. I said, oh my God. I was like, Zoe, I am so sorry I missed your sarcasm. I was like, so do you really want to play this year? And she goes, no, I don't now. And I'm like, okay. I was like, are you okay? And she goes, no, I'm really sad. So it kind of triggered her. I'm not going to tell you what her mental disorders and disabilities are. I'm just not going to do that. But she went into such a state that she went to bed and she wouldn't come out of her room all day. And then she slept all night that night and then went back to school the next day. She just could not deal with it. She was so sad, so angry. It was bad. And I was crying. Yes, I'm emotional. I'll admit that. And I was crying because I just couldn't believe it. But anyway, by the time I got home, I'm like, okay, well, I'm definitely filing a report with the athletic director on this one. So I went to I think it's Sports U app that we're on. Or no, it was something different. I'm on Sports U for choir. It was another athletic app or something where, all the team parents and players could contact coaches and everything. So I went there to get the athletic director's email. By the time I got home, they had already kicked me off of that app. They kicked me out of it. And the junior high is not very far from my home. Maybe 15, 20 minutes. No. I'm thinking high school. Sorry. It's maybe about 10, 15 minutes. And we did make a stop like at the dollar store. So I'd get her something to try and make her, cheer her up a little bit. So I'll just say 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes, I don't know who was in charge of it, Henry or Waters. I don't know. But they had already kicked me out of the app. So I went to the school website. I could not find an email for the athletic director. I just couldn't. Now, I'm not very good at electronic stuff, looking for stuff. So that might be on me. And I'll fully admit my own guilt and my own fault. So anyway, I couldn't find anything. So I literally had to wait until the preschool registration, the walkthrough, when we got up and got their lockers and everything. Talked to the junior high athletic director. Filed a complaint against both Coach Henry and both Waters. He did what he had to do. Then we had to go to the boss athletic director. I don't remember her name, but she's out of the high school. She did her investigation, which she did pretty good. I'll give her that. She did pretty good. But they were kind of sticking to already the same story. But their thing is, oh, I thought me and Dad were on the same page. How in the hell are we going to be on the same page when you literally bullied, berated, and belittled my daughter? How in the hell hell can you possibly think we're on the same page for that? So anyway, nothing came of that. So I went and I was like, okay, well, where do I go next? They said, well, you need to go to the principal. I'm like, okay. So I went to the principal, Miss Plett, I think is what it is, and then vice principal, Mr. White. They both told me, nope, sorry, there's nothing we can do. I'm like, wait, why? What? Oh, because it's part of the athletic program and it's separate from the school program. Yeah, I don't understand that either. It's all part of the school system. So anyway, they couldn't do anything unless it involved classroom grades, something that happens, I guess, actually in the school. I don't know. I'm a little confused on that. Don't worry, it gets better. Or worse, I should say. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go to the superintendent. So I went to the superintendent of schools, filed the complaint with him, told him everything that was going on. And I'm a patient person, used to be, not so much anymore, but I waited about a week and I was like, oh, and he called me back. He's a good man. He really is. But he said, okay, it's been taken care of. And I was like, how? How exactly has it been taken care of when there hasn't been so much as an apology to me or my daughter from either one of these two individuals? And then he went on and said, oh, just don't worry about it. Trust me. You can trust me. It's been taken care of. Okay, so what did you do? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't tell you that. It's against the law. Okay. So I went with it. Sorry, phone call. So I went with it and I'm like, okay. I'm like, something's not right here. I was like, no. I was like, no, I can't do this. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go in front of the school board. And I was like, how do I do that? Well, they said, well, you can go to each individual or you can just go to the meeting. And I was like, well, I'm not going to go to each individual. So I went to the school board meeting. And oh, my dear Lord. Yeah, I recorded the school board meeting. Yeah, I did. I know I did not record with what they did to the teachers. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, it's a he said, she said thing. But anybody that knows me, and I know most of y'all, of course, aren't going to know me at all. I'm almost 53. I'm old school, ex-military, ex-corrections, law enforcement, just a lot of X's. Got those too. Just a little humor. I'm straight up. I don't bullshit people. I've been called an asshole because of how bluntly honest I am. I'm not a little high school kid. I'm not a child. I'm not a manipulator or anything like that. I'm going to shoot you straight. And I'm always going to tell you whether you like it or not. And it's not just my opinion. That is actually what happened. So, but anyway, I went in front of this school board. And I was actually the first one up. And I was like, oh, and your time will start now. And I'm like, do I stand up? I mean, what do I do? I was like, real quick, my daughter wants to speak to, so I don't know if they started my time over or what. So, I was just trying to get some direction on how to properly do it. I've never been to a board meeting before. So I finally stood up and they only give you 5 minutes. And as you can tell, I'm already 13 minutes into this and still not even done with the story. And I know it's going to be long, but please listen because this does involve all children within the Ada City School District, including the junior high. And I'll get to that. So anyway, I spoke and I'm not kidding at all. I didn't get everything out. I couldn't get everything out. I thought I could, but I couldn't. I tried to make it short and sweet, but I'm one for details to let you know every single thing there possibly is to know. So there's not many really questions. You know what I mean? They cut me off mid-sentence. Okay, that's time. We're moving on. Oh, sorry. My kitty just switched it. Sorry. Sweetheart, you got to go. So, yeah, they cut me off mid-sentence. Couldn't finish anything and just kept on moving. I'm like, wow, okay. Well, then just to jump to the future just a little bit, I called up there and I was like, okay, how do I get the minutes and what exactly is the minutes going to say? Is it going to say the topic that I talked about these two teachers that are still employed? Yeah, they're still employed by the city. They're at Ada Junior High and wherever Waters is at. I don't know where he works for one of the schools. I don't know if it's high school or junior high or what elementary. I just don't know about Waters. And technically, I really don't know about Henry. She's just the softball coach. That's what I know. So I was like, wow, that was amazingly kind of rude. But, I guess they get their protocol. But they did. They cut me off mid-sentence, and I do have a recording of that one. So I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I gave them 2 weeks. And then nobody contacted me. I called back up there, and I'm like, okay, so nobody told me anything. What did the board decide? Are they still employed there? No, we can't tell you what happened. We can't tell you. It's against the law. And I just started going, wow, okay, well, then I guess I'm going state. And if state don't do anything, I'm going federal. I have no problems doing that. I really don't. I'm not a Ken or a Karen or whatever the hell they're called today. I'm not. I'm protecting my children. And so I called state, and you're going to absolutely love this. The State Board of Education, you cannot get a hold of them, like, at all. You can't. There is no phone call that will direct you to a live person. There's not. You have to listen to their instructions, go to this website, go to this tab, click this tab, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I filed a formal complaint against both of those teachers. And I use this term extremely loosely, the state investigator called, did not listen to the story. He only wanted specifics. No, sir, that's not what I'm asking you. No, sir, I don't need to know all that. I just need to know what they did. I'm like, wow, okay, so, well, they broke federal law 504. They did not provide accommodations to my daughter. They bullied her, belittled her, and berated her right in front of me in my car. This man turns around and says, well, there's not enough for us to do an investigation. What? Like, how is that possible? How is that possible not to do an investigation when a teacher is doing this to a student? So I got heated. I yelled at him. And I'm like, how in the hell would you like me to come up there and treat your daughter the same way that these teachers treated my daughter if I was in a professional standard? And I was yelling. I was cussing. I'm trying not to cuss, to not, be such an ass. And he backpedaled a little bit and he goes, oh, well, I guess I'll continue my investigation. Okay. Well, it's been another 2 weeks. Nothing. You can't get a hold of him unless I go and file another complaint, I guess, which I don't know if I can do that or not. And then I called federal, but as we all know, the government shut down, so federal can't get a hold of me. So I started calling the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, and it's like a law firm, and they specialize in violation of Americans with disabilities. Duh. I had the top attorney call me back in this state of Oklahoma, and he told me flat out he wants to charge 10 grand. Yeah, that's $10,000. But he was good. He was a straight shooter. He's like me, just telling it how it is. He goes, but even if you gave me that $10,000, if you want to go and sue the Ada City School District and the Oklahoma State Board of Education for not pursuing the matter, I guess would be the best way to put it, I would lose. Yeah, he straight up told me that it would be a waste of money and that I would lose. So now my only recourse is to put everything on social media. And believe me, I had to ask my kids and everything else. And this video is almost 20 minutes into it. And I'm trying to tell y'all everything. So I tried to start finding, attorneys, because I have 3 kids. I'm on nothing but disability, and I do good. I do very, very well. On different programs and everything else. I'm good. Me and my kids, we're good. We're just poor. We're just poor. I mean, I just had my son turn 17, and let me tell you guys, just another little bit of humor. When your first child gets on your car insurance, yeah, it's wicked. It's wicked amount of money. So so I'm a poor person. So I went through Oklahoma Indian Legal Services because I am native Chickasaw. They said, nope. Oh, sorry. We can't help you. Okay. So then I went through the Chickasaw courts. Oh, nope, sorry, we can't help you. Okay. So then I went through legal aid services, and they've never helped, ever. I've had other legal issues to try and take care of my babies, and they just wouldn't help. Um, so they pulled me up from I guess my phone number or something, and they turn around and say, "Oh, sorry, we can't help you. We don't have any attorneys available in your area." I'm like, "Okay, well, do you not have any attorney available within the state of Oklahoma? I mean, this is extremely important to me. I don't care if I got to make a 2-hour drive. I don't care. Something's got to be done here." Um, and they said, "Nope, we only do it by the area that you live in." I'm like, "Okay." So now this is where I'm at. I'm getting no help from anybody. And yes, I cannot afford an attorney. I just can't. I just cannot afford one. I've been trying to call all kinds of different attorneys, all kinds of different law firms to try and see if maybe they might take it pro bono, and nobody wants to. They either don't specialize in federal law, or they just don't know, or they just don't want to help. I just don't know. But that's where I'm at. But now here's the last part before I get into it more. This is what I have to do, and this is what I'm going to do. I called my courthouse, which, Ada District Court, or Ada Court, whatever, the courthouse. Talked to the court clerk. She was awesome. She was amazing. But here's what blows my mind. And this ain't the first time, not the second time, not the third time. It's the fourth time this has happened. I always perceived and always thought that our courthouses were supposed to have any and all paperwork that a citizen would need in order to file whatever they needed to file in order to get, legal matters taken care of. They don't. Didn't have it. You got to Google it. And I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to Google? So she told me what I was supposed to Google, but I have to basically do a crash course in law. Yeah, I don't know how in the hell I'm going to pull that one off. I'm not an attorney. So I need an attorney, and this is no joke. The top attorney guy gave me a couple of more information for free. Something about an IDEA and something about a something class. I've got it in my phone to help my daughter, and that I would need an attorney to sit down in the meeting for the IEP and the 504. Oh, yeah, and I forgot about this part. Y'all are going to love this. The investigator from the Oklahoma State Board of Education said, we can't do anything because she doesn't have a 504. Yeah, so he basically told me it's okay to break federal law, 504 in particular, because there's no paperwork on it. That's not how law works. That is absolutely not. You break the law, you get busted for it. These teachers broke the law. The school district broke the law. These teachers and stuff are claiming ignorance. Oh, well, they didn't know. We didn't know. Okay, so if they didn't know. Oh, and I quote, unquote, do you even know what my daughter's medical conditions are? Specifically asking both of these teachers. No, I'm not her teacher. I don't have access to that information. Anybody employed that is a teacher, that has a student, that has a disorder or disability should be aware of that. But no, they're claiming ignorance. Oh, we didn't know. We didn't know. Even the junior high athletic director said, I'm going to put a memo or a letter or whatever and put it out there and try and help this situation. Well, and I said, that's awesome, man. That's honorable as hell. That's awesome. Thank you so much. But the problem is, you shouldn't have to do this. It's already a federal law that all schools in the United States have to follow. All schools. That's from Head Start all the way up to college. I don't know much about college. The college level, whatever. The masters, the bachelors, the PhDs, the MDs, all of that. Anybody has that. is protected. But apparently it's okay to break that law because she's not on a 504. Yeah, it's weird, right? So I went up there and I told him, I was like, well, apparently she needs to be on a 504. The school told me, no, she does not need to be on a 504. Wow, really? Well, the state said that she did, or does. No, she doesn't. Well, I want her on a 504 because y'all never told me that she needed a 504. I didn't know anything about a 504. She's been on an IEP since the 4th grade, but back in my old hometown, there was no IEPs. It was just special ed. Here in the bigger towns, they have IEPs, and I knew about those, and she's been on it since I think the 4th grade. She's definitely been on an IEP since the schooling here. She's been well documented. The school has her diagnosis. They have even a list of her medications. They have everything. And yes, I did sit down in the IEP meetings, but I honestly, and this is probably on me, even though I did read everything, yes, she is provided certain accommodations, but that I thought it was just based off of the classes that she needed the IEP for. Again, I didn't know. Is that my fault? Probably. Will I take a partial blame for that? Yes, I will. But the school never told me. So anyway, I have to make this video. Yes, I am bringing lawsuits the best I can. I don't know exactly when or how, but these teachers, and I am not exaggerating one bit, these teachers are so protected that you can't find out anything about them. There is 2 individuals that I know for a fact. I'm not going to say names, not going to say jobs, for fear of their retaliation that can happen against them. I am not the first to make complaints against Waters specifically. I am not the first. I am not. There's been multiple complaints against him. So these teachers are so protected that they can basically get away with whatever they want and not have the parents know, because we're not allowed to know what their punishments were. Yeah, we're not allowed to know. I don't even know how to get their first names because they are protected under some kind of law. And that law, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, was originally intended to protect the privacy of our children. In case, an incident occurred, either between a child and another child, or a child and, a different type of staff member, or a child or a teacher. And I get that. Yeah, protect our children, protect their privacy. But somebody somewhere down the line, years and decades and whatever ago, decided to incorporate the teacher should deserve that too. We can't touch them. So unless there is absolute video evidence, which I did not get, of a teacher violating a child in any way, form, or fashion. I'm talking from yelling at them, belittling them, berating them, bullying them, making fun of them, touching them improperly, etc., etc., etc. Everybody knows anything and everything that can happen. They're protected. So I don't know what their punishment was, but absolutely they should not have their jobs for what they did to my daughter. And they did it right in front of me, guys. And how many times have they done it? How many times? 3 times? 4 times? 15? 20? 50? They're still employed there because no parent can know how many times a complaint has been issued against certain teachers. We don't know. We're not allowed to know. It's against the law, which blows my mind because all of law enforcement in the United States has to have full transparency. It's all a matter of public record. You can go up there and request records on me if you want. My name is Carlos R. Stafford Jr. Go ahead, look me up. I'm a good boy. You ain't gonna find nothing. And I'll even tell you what's on there. I got no tickets. I got nothing. I'm not a criminal or anything like that. How can you do that? And that's the same way. If you get a speeding ticket, it shows up. It's a matter of public record. But if a teacher does something, especially breaking the law, if an entire school district or an entire school like Ada Junior High specifically broke the law, claiming ignorance, how many times is any of y'all's guys' children, and I'm talking not just here in Ada, not just in Oklahoma, the entire United States, how many times has a teacher gotten away with whatever? How many times has a kid come home and said, oh, I don't like my teacher because he or she does this? And we're like, oh, no, that can't be true because they're a teacher. I had that mindset at one point. A lot of us parents have that mindset. Oh, there's no way that a teacher's going to do that. Oh, you're probably making this up. Well, guess what, guys? I was a witness to it. I'll take a polygraph. I'll swear on the Bible. I don't know, whatever y'all want me to do. That's legal. And, so yeah, this is my first time. I apologize for the length. I'm at 31 minutes. I do apologize. But y'all just need to know all of this, guys. Ada, Oklahoma. Parents, if your kids come home and say teachers are doing this, listen to them. Try and get out of that mindset. I was in that mindset until I witnessed it for myself. I did. I mean, I can go on about another incident with another teacher. Don't know her name. It happened to my son in 7th grade. That same exact teacher is still employed there and belittled and yelled at and cussed at 2 more students that I know of. And she's still employed there too. Yes, these are facts. This is not hearsay. This is not my opinion. This is true, guys. If you want to know me, hey, get to know me. I'm not worried about that. Come and talk to me. I'll shoot you straight. Question me. Do whatever you want to do. That's fine. But, yeah, guys, the teachers here are extremely protected, and they can get away with pretty much whatever they want, which brings me to, and you can call this a conspiracy, you can call it paranoia, you can call it whatever you want. But I find it funny, this law that passed from bell to bell, taking away the children's phones. The children, yeah, they're claiming it's for safety and for bullying and cyberbullying and, all this other stuff, which I do get, I understand. But it's also a protective measure because these kids can actually pull out their phones and catch these teachers in the act of breaking the law or breaking policy or acting unprofessional or unethical. And they took they took that right away. They did. They took that right away. They took that protective measure away from our children to be able to hold these teachers accountable. And that's what we need to do, just like we do our police and our government. We need to hold them accountable, guys. If anybody has complaints against Coach Henry or Coach Waters, just comment. I guess that's how it works. I don't know. Again, I'm making this video. I haven't posted anything. I'm going to go YouTube, Instagram, which I don't know how to do any of that. And I'm going to try and put it on Facebook, and I don't know how to do that either. So I'm going to have to get some help on that. But I'm glad if you did go down through this entire video. I appreciate you guys for listening, but this is all true. And just listen to your kids, guys. These teachers, I love teachers. Don't get me wrong. I love them to death. They have a really difficult, hard job. And most of them are amazing. But there are some few bad ones out here. The STEM teacher, that's what she was. I don't know her name. The STEM teacher at the junior high, Coach Waters and Coach Henry. All 3 should have been fired for the way they treated those kids. And they're still working there. So what does that say about our school system? Okay, sure, they pass a background check, but that doesn't mean that, I'm sorry, but so yes, lawsuits are coming. this video is coming or came, or however you want to look at it, posted, will post. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you guys. Just please listen to your kids. Please just listen to them. Thank you. Much love to everybody. Y'all be good. Y'all be safe. Bye.